Morning, guys. I am now here with behind the GM screen. I'm Sarah, and I am currently working on my campaign for D&D 5e, and there's also some construction happening in the room right next to me, so there might be drilling, and I apologize in advance. Anyway, good morning. So, my party last session, it was awesome playing in person again. We haven't played in person in well over a year and a half. I don't remember the last time we all played in person. And it was great. I laughed so hard I cried a couple times. So it was a lot of recapping. So I had a NPC come, a halfling journalist, ask the group about their adventures and what they accomplished. And I was expecting something much shorter than what I got. The party. It ended up just being the guys reminiscing about where everything started. And it was a lot of, this happened, and then, oh wait, no, but then that happened before that. Oh, how did we get this? And so it was a lot of, it was cool just trying to talk about the campaign that we just finished, and all the really funny moments, and I tried taking notes as best I could, and they are horrible. But so we did that, and one of the players is bringing a new character that he had from a previous game. So he's retiring his cleric, which is a little annoying because I had stuff planned for his cleric. But I dumped those. I didn't do anything with his cleric. Not that he didn't have anything to do during the session, because there was a wedding, and so they had him preside over the wedding, which is very sweet. But I introduced Bray's a ranger, and he has these visions and their nightmares, but we've never really made use of that. We did that mainly, that was kind of just part of his backstory, and so now I'm able to actually bring that into the game. So I gave him some nightmares, and he had some, during his wedding, his bride, kissed the bride and she looked great, and then suddenly she started drowning, and so there was this really crazy moment where all the players were like, wait, is this actually happening? So that was very satisfying, and so I can keep giving those to him. So maybe I'll make another one for this next round, because they're getting worse. And there was this great scene where I actually introduced a new player to the group. Fergus is playing in it, which is fun. He's brought a tabaxi, and his tabaxi, his name, was it Sunlit Snow? Starlit Snow. And he was introduced to Ted's character, Zorskax. And Zorskax, and so he introduced himself, Starlit Snow, but you can call me Star Snow. And he's like, why not Lit? Is that just not a thing? There's this whole chat about that. And then he brought Starlit Snow back to the tavern to introduce him to everybody else. And then he introduced himself as like this, Starlit Snow, you can call me Star or Snow. And then one of the other players was like, why not Lit? Which is very on brand for that entire group. So, where the party left off, and things that I'm looking at doing tomorrow. So Zorskax isn't going to be there, the player, he's not going to be there, but we should have everybody else. And the last session, kind of the hanging things are Mantique's father sent a letter saying that his brother's going to be arriving soon, to check on him and to see if he knows anything about Kate, or if, possibly Kate came out this way, or because Kate is the cousin who is now married to Bray, and the family doesn't know that. So that'll be exciting. So if they also bought a ship, so they need to crew it, and they need to buy supplies and get all ready for their seafaring journey. I gave a few hooks, like Selimir got a vision from his patron about saving somebody in the ocean. That somebody is this ship, and they also heard about the magical ship lost at sea. So they bought a boat because Mantique's very keen to leave as soon as possible so that he doesn't have to see his brother. And so I'm going to need a crew. I need a crew, some NPCs, so more NPC building. I have to flesh out the Leonin Sea Dog character into an actual character. And... Oh! Sorry, let me unmute you. There we go. Sam has just joined.
All my electrics went down.
Oh no!
Yeah, sorry, there was something wrong with the fuse box, and I only figured, like, it went out during the night, and I only just realised, so I've been trying to figure out for the last hour what to do, like, no charge on my phone or anything, so...
Oh no, is it...
Yeah, it's sorted.
Okay, good.
It was literally just turning the switch on, but it took me ages to figure it out because I'm stupid.
That's crazy. All the times for that to happen. Anyway, good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Alright. I was just talking a little bit about how the last session went, and things that I need to now prep for tomorrow. Ted's not going to be there tomorrow, so we won't have Zorskax. Oh man, but Zorskax, because he rebuilt him, and he's fashioning the voice and the mannerisms now after what's his name? Matt Berry.
Okay.
Which is brilliant because it's very much. It's also he's kind of doing him a bit like Rango. Have you ever seen Rango?
Yes, I've seen Rango.
So it's the idea of this lizard pretending to be something he's not. And so he's doing a lot of mannerisms that he's picking up from, sea captains he's seeing on the docks, but also Mantique. And so when he introduced himself to Fergus's new character, Starlit Snow, Tabaxi, and he introduced himself, he's like, I can't remember his the Zorskax's surname. But whenever Mantique introduces himself, he says, I'm Mantique's Visgiles of those Visgiles, expecting everybody to know who he is and who his family is. And Ted, when he introduced himself, like, he's been doing that the entire campaign. And so Zorskax, it's like, I don't know, I'll just use Green as the last name because that's not his surname. But it's like, I'm Zorskax Green of those Greens. And I laughed so hard, I cried.
I got this image of, the manager from the It Crowd kind of thing. Like, as soon as she said Matt Berry, I was like, oh, yes.
Yeah.
Monkey bastard hands. It's like, yes.
Yes, that's exactly it, except less pervy. But yeah, it's that accent, that boisterous nature. It's so good. Yeah, and so some of the things that are coming, I introduced this idea during the session that Mantique got a letter from his father saying that he was looking for Kate and that he has sent his brother to visit. Hello.
Hi.
Thank you. Thank you. Getting toast delivered. I didn't have time.
You can tell. We were just talking about it, and you can tell him.
Oh, Ted. Huh? What's Zorskax's surname? Throsk. There you go. Throsk. Zorskax Throst of those Throsts.
Of those Throsts.
Yeah. Oh, it was so good. I love it when everyone takes the piss out of Rogers. Maybe because I do it so much.
That's what he's there for, isn't it? So
it's true. He does it to everyone else too, so it's all fun. Um, yeah, so what was I just saying? That I gave Mantique a letter from his father saying that his brother is on his way, which made him really freak out and want to buy a ship immediately and get on the ocean as quick as possible. Because he doesn't want to see his brother. And
you told me about that bit.
yeah, and Bray doesn't want to either. And so, because they're like, he's the worst, I'm like, oh man, I really want him to show up. And so they bought a ship, and now they need to staff it and get all the equipment for it. And we also have a new character introduction tomorrow, for Lee's new character, because Kynan is no longer going to be in the game.
What's he going for now?
He's got a rogue tabaxi. So we're gonna have two cats. 2 cats and a bunch of humans. Well, not really. There's a half elf, but so let's see. So, and then Bray had his wedding with Kate, and we did the visions, which really freaked them all out. And then Selimir actually had a one-on-one with Laurel Silverhand. So he went and had a private audience with her, which I wasn't expecting. So, but it was fun. And it was the first time. It's like that player's a huge ham. But this is a serious moment. He doesn't want to see the other guys like him like that. He doesn't want the other guys to see him like that. So he had a nice serious scene between him and Laurel where he was essentially, I don't know why I have this magic or where this came from, because he's never had any magical ability. He was a half elf surrounded by people with magic, and he was bullied, and it was never he always wanted it but never got it until one day he just had it.
Okay.
And so he confided the mystery of his magic and its origins, and that it may be from Elminster himself, which freaked Laura out because they were, an item. For those that are aware of Wizard of the Coast, Faerun lore, Laurel and Elminster were together. And in our world, Elminster died in a big magical battle, and broke his sword, the lion sword, was destroyed. And so she cast Detect Thoughts on his mind and probed it so she could see the visions that he saw and his memories and things. But she doesn't know why. She's quite shaken. She said she would do some research and seek out answers and let him know what she finds. She isn't 100% certain that it is Elminster, but perhaps connected to Mystra.
It sounds like it's vague enough that, do they want you to come up with the reasons, or they got it planned themselves, or have they talked to you about it?
Well, we've talked about it before, that he thinks it's Elminster, but at the same time doesn't know exactly what it is, and so I do have the freedom to solidify exactly who and what is this patron. It is, I have alluded to that it's something connected to Mystra and Elminster. I like the idea that because he was the chosen of Mystra, that when he died, he almost became fused or part of her.
Yeah.
And originally, when we had talked about it, I feel like he probably forgot this, but he picked up a piece of the lion sword. Because he didn't mention that to Laurel. I need to ask the player directly. Because she kept, I kept asking, it's did something start this? What happened as a catalyst? And he didn't know. He could also just be chosen by her.
Yeah, I also like the idea that maybe he thinks that he's chosen by her, and it's very vague for a long time, and then finally, eventually, you might get to meet Mystra, and really far down the line or something.
Yeah.
Or they have a vision moment or something, and then she's like, "No, it's the weave itself that chose you," or something like that,
Yeah, because we talked a bit about the weave itself being being his patron, which was kind of a fun idea because he wanted to do a Hexblade Warlock, but we didn't want to do, the Shadowfell. So we kind of just did our own thing.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, there's nothing stopping you, is there? So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and actually, she left to go think, and he left him behind to fill his pockets with sandwiches before leaving the palace. Man, this group and food. It's so funny. Yeah, I think that's kind of where we had left off. So we need, for this next session, I'm going to need to build out some NPCs. Do that there. So I'm using Scrivener. I haven't been using this for those paying attention on the stream. There's little split windows here, so I can have 2 of my documents up at a time, which is very handy because I have my brained up outline in one side, which I think this one isn't going to be useful. I do want to copy over information about the bard because I didn't talk to her. I kind of would like them to talk to her. Because she, I finished with the big long story about Bray's grandparents. And yeah, we just
how did that come across? Like the whole bard thing? Did they were they like, oh, really? Or they were just like, oh yeah, I totally know that.
Oh no, they were surprised to hear the story, and they all liked it. Because it was like with, I said, with the groomsman, with the bridegroom's name, and they're like, oh, really? There was, all the beats were hit.
Okay, cool. It was a nice reveal, and that sounds good. Okay.
Yeah. There's some good reveals. I think my favorite moment was telling Matthew what was in the letter from his father. Like, you got a letter from your father. It's like, what? And the fear that came when I said, it's like, and someone's coming. And as you're reading through this, you find out, it's your brother. And just like, no! He's horrible! He's the worst! So that was very satisfying. Let me go here.
So what's the next course of action from them? So I assume that they're going to be getting a boat sorted very, very quickly.
They finished that was essentially the last session, the last part of it. Was Manticue. He left and he came back with like matching captain suits for everybody, and then they went down, immediately found out what Zorskak said about like there's this person selling a ship, and he's like, all right, let's go buy it. And it's called the Good Ship.
Oh god.
So they bought the Good Ship, and it's a mediocre ship, but it'll do, and they need to hire people, and they will probably hire the Leonin NPC that I made up that told Zorskax about the fabled ship. The thing that I did change about that was that originally in the story, the Tempest Soul is the name of this mysterious ship that people go to try to find. It's made of solid gold, and it's magical, forged by Mister herself, and I left out the part where it sails itself, so then that can be a reveal later.
Okay, so do they know about that now then?
Yeah.
They know it's a thing, okay.
Yeah, they know about the ship, and then I gave Selimir a vision saying, go save this person. He doesn't, like, go save them. And it was, there, I can read that. Did I read that to you before? The vision, Selimir's vision. There's swirling mist of a variety of colors, glittering in sparks, fire and water buffeting you from all sides. You hear a voice of many layers speaking to and through you. There's someone who needs you. There is a call. There is a connection. You must go. You feel weight suddenly appear in your hand, and you look down and you see your spectral sword. However, it's more solid now, appearing closer to what you recognize from illustrations of Elminster's weapon, the lion sword. It raises the arcane glow humming around it. Into the depths. And your sight is pulled through space suddenly, through Waterdeep, out to sea, to a collection of islands, and crashing into the depths below. Go. Save them. And that was the end of his vision.
Okay, cool. So that's a strong. Please go in this direction.
Yes.
Okay. Cool, got you.
Yeah, the player messaged later, and he's like, "I don't remember what the vision was. I just remember it made me want to go."
That's all that matters.
So yeah, I copied it over to him so that he could have it. That's kind of the more how I want to do his visions, so they're more ethereal in nature.
Yeah, it's all very like. Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so the bard. Damn it. Whatever. So we have this grizzled Leonin.
Because of the quality of the stream,
Yeah.
you might want to zoom in slightly on like 1 or 2 steps on Scrivener. Just so the writing's more readable.
Yeah.
That's better.
That's the
better,
side.
yeah.
That's the side that's needed more. So NPCs. We'll have the Leonin sailor. He needs a name. I don't think did I come up with a name? I don't think I did.
If it's a Leonin sailor, he needs to have like it's not his act, because if he's the guy who sold on the ship or gave him the information about the ship.
Yeah, he gave information about the. He's gonna have full of sailors' tales and things.
Oh, okay, so he's very lyrical. Does he believe all the tales that he tells?
Absolutely, he's going to be the most like stereotypical old sailor with all the superstitions. What was that one pirate? There's like Jack, and then you had his buddy, sea turtles. That guy.
Okay. Well, like he's like an old wise lion dude. Then.
Yeah.
Call him like Mufasa or something, you know.
Yeah. He's kind of like that. Like he's been sailing for his entire life. He was born on a ship.
Imagine him like telling us stories about how he's the only cat that does this or something, you know, like he's the only Leonin that you'll find on a ship or some rubbish like that. Like, he boasts about it, like, you know, he thinks it's a big deal kind of thing, so he's always bigging himself up.
Mark my words.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
That kind of thing. And then we'll probably need I'm. That's what I wanted to do. There was a thug that they. I'm told the story a few times where during the course of Dragon Heist they were ambushed by some Xanathars. I think those ones were Xanathar's thugs, and they captured one and interrogated him, and they ended up singing him "Happy Birthday." Like, it's. I mean, hold on.
I think you told me about that. Like they interrogated him.
Yeah, and
they broke him, and he was just like, "Oh, it was my birthday today." And I thought,
no. So they were asking him questions like, "What's your name?" And I gave him a name, and it's like, okay, you know, who do you work for? All of that stuff. And then, but they also asked him like really like personal questions. Like, how long have you been in water? He was like, oh, he's like, my whole life. And it's like, how old are you? It's like, I'm not sure. It's like, do you know when your birthday is? No. You've never had a birthday? And then cue Matthew making tea for people anyway during the game, because that was when we were still in person. And coming into the room, because his character runs off and he's gonna go get a birthday cake. And so he comes back into the room, Matthew Rogers with tea, and then as Manticore with the cake, going, "Happy birthday to you." It was great. So I was thinking about bringing that character back, asking and having him ask for a job.
Yeah, like it's like a midshipman or something. Yeah.
Yeah, because he probably wants to get out of Waterdeep. So let me see. Clicking through my notes, there might be some spoilers to Dragon Heist. So avert your eyes if you don't want to see it. I'm just trying to find this name of this character that I gave, because they'll remember. At least one of them will. So that is Eyecatcher. It was early on. Session notes. Oh, Rogar. Those that's right. It was after that. Maybe if I do a big search. Here, I'll search all and find birthday cake.
I'm trying to think of a name for this Leonin as well.
Yeah.
Because Mufasa's too far or too on the nose, you know.
Yeah. No, I don't want to name him Mufasa.
Do you want a pirate name?
There he goes. Esmond. No, that's not it. Yeah. He would
He's like a kind of golden mane, like a lion, yeah.
Yes.
So something golden beard or something like that, or people call him golden beard or something.
I'm afraid they're gonna call him Goldie. Probably would.
Actually, you know what? Why not?
Yeah.
Like, why not his name? Just yeah, he's like
Goldie.
Some people call me Golden Beard, but you can call me Goldie, and he winks at them, kind of thing.
Yeah, that'd be good. Alright, maybe not birthday. Maybe it is chapter 3. No. Okay. Ambush. No, that was too early.
Did you note the name down? That's the problem.
No.
Sometimes I think I note it down, and then I'm like, oh damn it, I didn't do it.
I totally wrote it down, though. I know I did. Because they talked to him a few times.
Huh.
He came back. Let's see. It must have been... Sorry, they burned down something, and I just found in my notes charges, arson and theft. And I wrote down how much it all is.
Is it the Ravik dude there?
Oh yeah, wait. Ravik! Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
That's it. Nice. Yeah. Alright. Quick. It would be funny is that he's in the docks looking for work and comes across them and goes, "Oh crap, it's them!" So almost ends up, oh well, it could be worse. So
you got the end dude's like the storyteller dude, and then do we want like a separate like navigator style character, like someone who's like ridiculously over the top superstitious, like, you know, spins the wheel backwards, left, and right 10 times each before they set off from the thing, kind of like weird, superstitious. But like, I don't know, like unnaturally lucky or something like that. I don't know. And they just like, yeah, they're always scared of everything. I don't know. I've got a character like that in my mind. It might not be necessary if Goldie's gonna like fill in as that kind of character. But
Yeah, I think Goldie will be that kind of character. I can see more like a character that's more neurotic, but maybe they could be the chef. Because this party's gonna want to cook on this ship.
Okay.
So it's
and like, oh, yeah, and like they're cooking, and he walks in, and he's like, "You can't put that in there," and they're like, "Yeah, you can. It's really tasty. What are you talking about?" And it's like, no, because it's bad luck to do that. You have to do it this way, and then
do a couple turns around. It's like, no, you can't serve this with that. There's I never met this person. I heard about them through somebody else, but I'm sure there's more than one person that does this, but they won't eat foods together that would not have met in life.
Oh, God.
So this person would not eat fish with corn. Like
that's kind of amazing, actually. You need to do that.
Yeah, it's like these little personality quirks. It's ridiculous. Chef. So I like the idea that the chef won't cook things together that would not have met in life.
Yeah. He's just a random quirky nutcase.
Yeah.
Like, if they latch onto him, they latch onto him. But if they don't, then it doesn't really matter. It's just a bit of fun.
Yeah.
It needs a ridiculously basic name as well. Like Colin or something.
Definitely Colin.
Like, just Colin. They're like, oh, Colin what? He's like, it's just Colin.
Just Colin.
Oh, no, or like Colin Collingwood or something like that.
Colin Cole.
Yeah, okay.
What's funny is that also one of the players has this thing is like there's an NPC called Delacar, and then he's like they call him Delacar. It's like the name's so nice you say it twice, and he's done that with another with another NPC, so it's not outside of possibility in this group. Okay, I think I might leave most of the crew for them to help world build. I think some of the things that will need to happen during the session, the possibility of Mantique's brother, Bastable of Visgiles, of those Visgiles. So if he shows up, I was thinking about this last night, and I think the important thing is that when scenes happen, that there's a reason for them. I like the idea of bringing Bastable in just to see what Rogers does with it. But I feel like there needs to be a better reason. Because Bastable's going to be a complete asshole. He would come in and completely scoff at Manti. So this is where you end up, Manti. Oh, how quaint. It's a nice little tavern.
Yeah, and like after the conversation, he's like, look, you've had your adventure now, let's go home.
Yeah, well the thing is that Mantique was kicked out.
Yeah.
He's not really there to bring Mantique back. He's there to check in on him. But mostly because of Kate was missing. Because Kate was kidnapped by a bad guy. Kate is Mantique's cousin. But also Bray's lover. And why they were kicked out of their home in the first place. Because Bray was caught with Kate. And so he got fired and sent off. And Mantique stood up for them. And so he said, fine, you can go too. And so Manticore lost everything standing up for Bray. And so that's why they ended up traveling together and how they ended up in Waterdeep. Kate was kidnapped because she was important to Bray. And they saved her, and that's who Bray is now married to. Unbeknownst to the family. They still think she's missing.
Okay.
So there's a lot of possibility there. I don't know if Bray's bringing Kate on the ship with them. I guess I'll find out that tomorrow. I haven't actually even fully fleshed out who Kate is. Like, we've never actually fully RP'd Kate Giles.
I'm just trying to think of, like, opportunities for interesting interactions with, like, the brother turning up and stuff. Like, his agenda is he's there to check up on them, or because, like, the father has sent him to, like, check in.
The father sent him to check in, also partially to see if Kate is there. Because I imagine she hasn't really, she probably hasn't been very happy since Bray left. And it's been, at this point, probably about 3 months or so.
Okay.
4 months since they were exiled, I think. I'm guessing.
So you're gonna get, like, this whole, like, he's just gonna turn up and be a total dick to his brother and his brother's friends.
Yes, exactly.
And then he's eventually just gonna lose his crap and go, why are you actually here? And then you can drop it. Oh yeah, Kate's missing.
Yeah. Well, that was in the letter about Kate missing.
Okay.
Yeah, that was in the letter that Kate has gone missing, and we're really worried about her, and we've been searching for her and trying to find what's happened. Your brother's coming to check in with you, and will be there soon, and he's on his way, and to see if you know anything about Kate. So his brother shows up, is an absolute asshole to everybody, and the situation, and downplaying, their tavern, and is just horrible. And then probably sees Kate unless they hide her. And if he sees Kate, he's going to take her back. That's what the result of that would be. Actually.
Well, is Kate actually going to be there with him, or is she still going to be missing? Or
no, they're married now.
Oh, okay, fine. That's the wedding.
That was the wedding. Was between Bray and Kate.
How about? Oh, I don't know.
So it's going to be a complete scandal.
Yeah, it needs to escalate, doesn't it? It needs to say, like, I don't know, maybe he goes back and report, like, it all kicks off, there's a big argument or whatever,
yeah.
And then they part ways, but then the brother goes back and reports to the father, and the father's like, no, this is not acceptable, and then they start sending people after them to, like, get her back.
Yeah. That would absolutely happen.
Then you've got a kind of it's nice to have, like, that kind of drive, isn't it? It's like you've got someone, even though it's only specifically to do with one character or whatever, you've got someone, like, continually on your case, so you can't stay somewhere too long, kind of thing.
Yeah. So let's see. So I think with the NPCs, I should have motivation, or what they want. Motivation. Wants to return home with Kate.
Can you move the screen down a bit?
Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah, NPCs. Colin Cole.
I just saw that bastard, complete dick to everyone.
So the party will, so he's looking for Kate, and he's essentially going to be there and just rub it into his brother's face how, like, how amazing it is for him right now, and how horrible it is for Manticore. For Manti. He's totally gonna call him Manti the whole time. Little baby brother.
And what, like, just have Kate walk out, like, non-assumingly and be like, oh, brother, blah, 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 you know, and then it all gets revealed and explained, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless Bray decides to just dump it and go, yeah, fuck you.
They might. Oh, man. Maybe I should pick out an NPC stat block just in case they decide to fight him. That'd be great. Oh man, I'd have to use a gentleman. He'd need to be a gentleman like Manticore.
Oh.
He'd have to be. It's inevitable. I'll build one later.
Like gentleman's duels. You need to have some. Oh, are there dueling mechanics?
Oh, I'm sure
like,
you can make it up.
Like, you know, like a 10 paces kind of thing.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. It's like, this is ridiculous. You can. I challenge you to a duel. And then they challenges Bray or whatever.
Yeah.
And then
They
you know, you could do the whole thing where he's seconded by his like brothers thing, and yeah.
A duel. That would be epic, actually, if he duels and says, "If I win, I get to take Kate home, back to her family. And if you win, I will go in peace."
Yeah, I mean, either way, they'll still end up coming after them and trying to get Kate back. Because
yes.
Either Kate will be like, "No, I'm not going," and then they'll be like, "Oh, you broke this gentleman's agreement. You cad."
Yeah.
And then, yeah. Or he'll be like, he'll slink away with his tail between his legs, tell Daddy, and Daddy will be like, "This is outrageous. We're getting her back."
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds great. Oh, he's definitely showing up. It's funny, Manticore just wants to leave immediately. He's like, but you can't leave immediately. Like, you don't have any. You just got a ship, but you have no crew or anything. You have to spend at least a day doing that. Let's see. So Kate, she needs a personality trait. Because I need to know how to roleplay her.
Well, I don't. Going for the "Hey, I'm Kay" is a bit boring and a bit like, you know,
exactly.
So, like, what about she's like a proper nerd, like a super, like hyper smart because of the education she's had in her family.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah. Look, I'm just looking at the backgrounds in the player's handbook just to.
But she's like,
grab one.
You could have her so she's relatively, like, what's it called, like introverted, so that she doesn't always say a lot, so you don't have to roleplay her all the time. But sometimes she might just. You could have her as the kind of a GM guide vehicle where it's like occasionally she's like, excuse me, actually the blah, 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 square root of this is this, blah, blah, you know, that kind of thing. Occasionally, if they haven't figured it out themselves, sort of thing.
Yeah, I've had to do that a few times with other characters. Oh, there we go. I believe that anything worth doing is worth doing right. I can't help it, I'm a perfectionist. I like that.
See her like on this, like, almost like this perfected scientist or something. Like, where there's like, when they get on the ship and stuff, and she gets her room or whatever, she ends up turning her room into like a little lab or something, because she's like, she wants to learn more and do things, and, yeah.
Yeah. That'll make her much more interesting to have on the ship as well. So she could have like proficiency in the herbalist kit. Because they once again have no proper healer. They have a druid now. But this group. And Ted's technically still part bard. But they don't have a full healer. Proficient, she's a scientist. I like that. It's quite good. I wanted to do pranks as well. Enjoys a good prank.
Like, she spends, like, a lot of time, like, researching and making things and stuff, but, like, half the things she makes are just, like, you know, like, magical whoopee cushions or whatever.
Yeah.
Stupid shit like that.
Yeah. Because it's like, I'm trying to figure out also, because she and Bray are together for a reason, and Bray has his own personality quirks, and I think that those things, I think, would work out really well for the two of them. Lane and Sailor. Oh, Goldie. Right.
Like, full name... Golden Beard the Second or something, you know? Something ridiculous over the top.
Well, if you want, it's like the Tabaxi kind of style, Jay. This is a shimmering golden mane of...
Oh yeah, because they always have super literal names, don't they?
On the horizon. AKA Goldie. The shimmering golden mane... I would say of the coast. I kind of like that more. Of the coast.
I can see it now. It's like, hey, I'm the shimmering golden mane of the coast. A wink. You can call me Goldie.
Sails his entire life. Very superstitious. Bigs himself up.
Because him being like very flamboyant as well. Very lyrical with his words. As he's stringing all this like stuff together. To the point where they might think that he's talking out of his ass.
Yeah.
But he has actually seen it all, you know.
He has. He's fairly old. I think he'll probably be a navigator.
It's like his mane's not completely golden anymore.
No, it's absolutely not.
It's like salt and pepper mane.
It's more of like, you know, dirty brown and gray.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of he's a bit of a has-been, I think.
Does he have a cane?
Oh yeah, he definitely should have a cane.
What's the cane made of?
I don't think he necessarily needs it all the time, though.
Well, maybe it's like it's his weapon,
yeah.
But when it's sheathed, he uses it as a cane if he needs to. And then if people are like, "Oh, are you alright?" He's like, "No, this is just my weapon," because he's like really defensive about like the fact that he's getting old.
The cane itself was made maybe something really obscure.
Something like sea related.
Yeah. Maybe it's made from like...
I've got this like idea that it's just a cane made of like vertebra, and then it's got like, I don't know, something interesting on top. And if anyone asks him about it, it's like, oh, this is made from the spine of a sea hag I once fought, and then you could use that later. You might be able to tie that in somehow if you want to.
That's intense. Vertebrae cane. Neat. Imagine the handle like polished coral at the top.
Yeah, I'm thinking of what's it called? In the original Jurassic Park, Richard Hammond. Yeah. His cane with like the amber on top, because it was all like dinosaur vertebra, wasn't it? And then like had the amber on top, so like that. But then it has like some kind of like corally thing on top. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the cane needs to be enchanted in some way. I mean, like, that would be such a waste otherwise.
Definitely. I don't think it's... I think they'd probably treat it a bit like a shillelagh.
Yeah.
Or club.
You could also give it, like, water breathing as well, which would make sense if he's like, failing a lot, yeah.
You can cast water breathing and water walk once a day or something like that.
Yeah. In That sounds pretty simple because you got a nice utility with the walk, and then yeah, you just like have a shillelagh, so you got a bit of extra.
Yeah.
You got some basic magical stuff in this.
He has 3 charges. Charges. To cast Shillelagh, which I can't spell. Shillelagh water walk or water breathing.
Okay.
Because then that can change it into a magical weapon if he needs.
Yeah. Because it counts doing magical damage on its attacks, then, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good spell. Shillelagh. Okay. Yeah, I'll build that out into a proper block at some point. Cool. So you got that guy. You got Ravik, who's essentially just a thug turned sailor. Got Kate, and we got Bastable. Colin Cole. Colin Cole is also human?
I reckon... No, like, make him a halfling. Like...
Halflings are always cookies.
But like, always angry and superstitious. So yeah, always superstitious, but always angry because people aren't following the superstitions.
Grumpy Cook.
Like literally never smiles. Always has a frown. Like there's permanent like frown lines in his forehead.
Oh no! And you know what's gonna happen? Mantique's going to speak Dwarvish to him.
Oh yes.
Because he's short, and Mantique is a horrible person.
Oh, but how about yeah, he does that, but he say he's a halfling, so yeah. he doesn't necessarily speak Dwarvish, but he recognises that it is Dwarvish. Yeah. So he's like, wow, I'm not a dwarf. Yeah. That's really insulting. And actually, super bad luck because of this. Blah 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 blah. and then later on, he's like, he puts something in his food, like a super hot chili or something, and
that'll fix the luck.
And then when he confronts him about it, he's like, yeah, well, that's how you fix that bad luck, is you put chili in the food of the person who insulted you.
This character is entirely dependent on if they decide not to take one of their kobold cooks with them. Because they have a bunch of kobolds manning their tavern.
You could do that. I mean,
but I can rejigger this character to do something else.
Yeah, no. Just do exactly the same character. Instead of Colin Cole, he's Colin Kobold. That's it. That's it. Colin the Kobold.
Perfect. Alright, so we've got... So the scenes... Let me see. I'm gonna make sure that I got my notes right. So I just need an outline for the session. We need, the... Hire a crew. I can spell hire a crew. So see, yes.
Encounter with the brother.
Yeah.
Is that going to be? I think the encounter is a good kind of a stalling thing as well, so that might be worth saving until they're about to set off.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Is like they're ready, they're leaving the tavern, and then its brother shows up.
Or they walk out straight into him, and he's in a street.
Yeah. Introduction of Shadow. Actually, I can go get the notes for that character. Yeah, because the party, they need to do some shopping. Copy. Yeah, we need a not only encounter with Shadow. Come on. Do this. Numbers. There. So they need to hire a crew. that is where they'll meet Shadow.
Shadow is in the Revik dude.
No, Shadow is the new character from Lee. So he's the Tabaxi rogue.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
So Shadow of the Reaching Wood is all black Tabaxi rogue, arcane trickster.
Okay.
So this is what Lee sent me. He's part of another group of adventurers also seeking out the treasure that our party uncovered. So the guys in the game. He had met with Laurel Silverhand, and it was her that inspired him to wish to learn something about the arcane arts. He would be in the gentleman's regret after spending several days following the group over rooftops from the shadows, wishing them no harm, but wishing to understand why they didn't, what they did differently to allow them to get to the treasure first. Because this player had played Dragon Heist before, but that group didn't finish the campaign. So then he finished it with us, and so this is the character that he played in the other campaign. So
cool.
Yeah, and so he's watching apparently this group to see what they did differently to get to the treasure first. He'd have no desire to stay in Waterdeep now that the treasure hunt is over, and would be trying to pluck up the courage to talk to the group. He would have overheard the talk of leaving and buying a ship and would want to offer his services. One of the group he used to run with was a half-orc pirate who always told of amazing tales of the sea, and he'd love to get out and see more of the world. He is handy with a rapier and has some neat tricks up his sleeves and isn't afraid of heights, so he could help with the rigging on the ship. Like, that sounds great. So I don't really need to...
Sound good.
No work for me on that. You can...
Okay, that writes itself, doesn't it?
Yeah. And he's going to send me backstory information about Shadow. So... with hiring the crew, that's when Shadow will be introduced. Shopping.
Hiring the crew, they're going to need to do... You know what, you should have them do the classic... they go to the local tavern and they set up a hiring table, and then like they...
Yeah.
People in town already know because the word's been spread, and then they come on a certain day to the table, and they're like, yeah, and you get to roleplay a bunch of weird, like, pirates and drunkards and stuff, you know?
Yeah. Revik. In the dock ward. They need to do some shopping. We'll have an encounter with the brother. And now we can go over to the outline. That is an old outline. That's not the right one. Here we go. Where's my... Did I put it in a different spot? What's happening? Where'd all my notes go? What'd you do with them, Sam?
I don't know, what did I do with them? It's almost like I'm trying to, ruin your stream.
Oh, I'll have to find them properly. Because that's all the stuff that I've already done. Essentially what the next step is. I thought it was in here. Well, they'll need their map. I need a printer. Yeah, they'll just need to figure out where they're going. Oh, they're gonna go to... I think that's probably enough for that session, honestly. Hiring a crew,
that
shopping.
sounds more than enough, to be honest,
yeah. Because then the next section...
being them, they'll drag it out as well.
Yeah. And I don't know what things they all specifically want to do. I tell them to send me things and no one sends me things.
Yeah, well, it's always the way, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's been an hour. Excellent. So I think that's it for tomorrow. And then next time we can build out. I'll find out where they want to go. And
Sounds good.
then we can build out there. Because I have the layout for the whale bones encounter with the ship. I think I have that in Foundry. That's probably where all my notes are. And then we can build out the pirate city. Because now we won't have the cleric's parents anymore. But we can have other stuff. And Axel. But that's it for today. For those watching, thanks for watching and suffering through today.
Sorry I was late as well.
It's alright, no worries. I think a couple little announcements. We'll be back this afternoon with GM's chat. We'll be talking about a variety of different things as we do. This week is Homebrew Lab, where we will be making, I believe, a magic item. Yeah.
Who's doing that? Who's doing that one?
Let me see. Let's see. This is the 23rd. Wonders Workshop. Yep, we're making a magic item with Chris. Chris Good.
Nice.
Yeah, so that should be a lot of fun. And then we've got, obviously, Ever Chosen every Friday, and then next, in a few weeks, on the 11th, we are actually going to be doing that live stream of Dread. That'll be probably in the middle of the day, and we'll have more announcements about that. But we've got...
I'm gutted that I can't make that.
Oh, yeah. There'll be more. This is kind of like the test run of doing a live stream in person, an actual game. So we'll see how it goes. But it should be a lot of fun. We have a good group for that, as long as everybody can make it. Otherwise, for those in the States, have a wonderful Thanksgiving this week. And we will be back with another Behind the GM Screen in 2 weeks, where I have more stories about how tomorrow's session goes. Thanks for joining me, Sam.
Thank you.
Have a good Sunday.